Have you ever noticed every time you hurt someone, something inside you hurts too? There's a powerful truth we don't talk about enough. Every weapon you use against someone else cuts you too. That clenched fist, your body feels the tension first. That angry voice, it echoes in your own mind before it hits anyone else. That cold silence, when you withhold love, you're the first one sitting in that emptiness. We think we're releasing anger, but often we're just recycling pain within ourselves. There's a quiet truth in that idea. Every act of striking outward leaves a mark inward. It challenges the instinct to see conflict as one directional, as if harm only travels away from us. In reality, the energy we use, anger, harsh words, emotional withdrawal, doesn't just land on someone else. It passes through us first. When you clench your hand in anger, your body feels the tension before anyone else does. When your voice sharpens, it echoes in your own mind before it reaches another person. And when you close your heart to withhold love, you're the first to sit in that emptiness. The weapon may feel powerful in the moment, but it's never neutral. It extracts a price. Now, let's be real. Sometimes you do need to stand your ground. Sometimes you need to be firm. But there's a big difference between responding with control and reacting with emotion. That doesn't mean you should never defend yourself or set boundaries. Sometimes firmness, even confrontation, is necessary. But the reflection here is about awareness. How you act matters as much as why you act. There's a difference between using strength with intention and reacting with unchecked emotion. Sometimes you do need to be firm. Not every situation calls for softness. Boundaries matter, respect matters, and silence isn't always strength. But here's where people get it wrong. Firmness is not the same as anger. Responding with control means you're aware of what you feel, but you're not ruled by it. You choose your words carefully. Your goal is clarity, not damage. It sounds like, here's what I will and won't accept. Here's where I stand. No yelling, no attacking, just steady, grounded truth. Now compare that to reacting with emotion. That's when anger takes the wheel. Your voice gets louder, your words get sharper, and suddenly it's no longer about solving the problem. It's about winning or hurting back. The difference is simple but powerful. Control builds boundaries. Emotion without control builds regret. Being firm with control protects your peace. Reacting with emotion often steals it. If you strike blindly, you carry the wound longer than the other person might. But if you act with clarity and control, even difficult actions can leave less damage behind. The goal isn't to never strike, but to recognize the cost each time and decide if it's truly worth paying. Because when you strike blindly, you don't just leave wounds on others. You carry them with you. Not always right away. Sometimes it shows up later. Just the replay in your mind. Why did I say that? I didn't mean to go that far. It's the guilt that lingers, or the tension that doesn't fully leave your body. Even if the other person moves on, a part of you stays stuck in that moment. And sometimes it's not guilt, it's a pattern. The more you react without thinking, the more it becomes your default. Until one day, you realize you're not just hurting people, you're shaping a version of yourself you don't even like. That's the hidden cost. Because every uncontrolled reaction doesn't just damage the relationship, it leaves a mark on your character, your peace, your mindset. So, yes, words and actions can wound others. But the deeper truth is this: what you put out in anger, you end up carrying within yourself. In the end, the deeper strength isn't in how hard you can strike, it's in knowing when you don't need to. Because anyone can react. Anyone can raise their voice, throw words, or push back harder. That's instinct. That's impulse. But restraint, that takes awareness. That takes control. That takes strength. Real strength is being triggered and still choosing not to lose yourself. It's having the perfect comeback in your mind and deciding it's not worth the cost. It's walking away, not because you're weak, but because you understand something powerful. Not every battle deserves your energy. Sometimes, striking back only keeps you tied to a moment that should have ended. And choosing not to strike, that's not losing. That's protecting your peace, your clarity, your character. Because when you don't react blindly, you stay in control of who you are instead of letting the moment decide that for you. So, yes, strength can look like force, but the deeper kind, it looks like discipline. It looks like restraint. It looks like choosing peace when you had every reason not to. So, next time you feel the urge to strike, pause and ask yourself, is this worth the cost to me? Because in that split second, that moment between feeling and action, that's where your power lives. Anger is fast, reaction is automatic. But a pause? That's intentional. That pause gives you space to see clearly. Will this fix anything or just make it worse? Will I feel better after this or regret it later? Because the truth is, every reaction has a price. Sometimes it's a broken connection. Sometimes it's peace of mind. Sometimes it's how you see yourself afterward. And in the heat of the moment, that cost is easy to ignore. But you'll feel it later. That's why the pause matters. It doesn't make you weak, it makes you aware. It gives you the chance to choose. Do I want to win this moment or protect my peace long term? Because not every urge deserves an action, and not every feeling deserves a reaction. So before you strike, pause, not to suppress what you feel, but to decide what it's truly worth. Because real strength isn't in how hard you hit, it's in knowing when you don't have to.